Denis Villeneuve's Dune is finally coming out in the theaters in the United States very soon. I got a chance to check it out early at the New York Film Festival, which I flew to just for this movie, and then flew back. Literally spent less than 24 hours in New York. It was a blast, but my expectations were sky high for this one, and I came out, and my expectations were blown out of the park. This movie is a true cinematic masterpiece, and Denis Villeneuve has done it again. What's going on, buddy? Welcome back to a brand new movie review. Today we're discussing Denis Villeneuve's Dune. This is, of course, a feature adaptation of Frank Herbert's science fiction novel, and it's about Paul Atreides, a brilliant and gifted young man born into a great destiny beyond his understanding. He must travel to the most dangerous planet in the universe to ensure the future of his family and his people. As malevolent forces explode into conflict over the planet's exclusive supply of the most precious resources in existence, only those who can conquer their own fear will survive. Now, just like me, I'm sure many of you guys are probably feeling the exact same way. You're major fans of Denis Villeneuve. I know I am. I've absolutely loved a lot of his movies. Even the ones that I didn't think I was going to be excited for, I ended up loving out of my mind. In fact, Arrival is my favorite film of his still to this date, personal favorite. And I didn't think I was going to like that movie, and I ended up loving it. And Dune was kind of the same thing. When it was announced, I was like, this could be like the next big sci-fi fantasy epic franchise, say Lord of the Rings or Star Wars, because Dune, in a sense, may have inspired Star Wars in some way, shape, and form. And after seeing the movie, I had read the book earlier this year. I was psyched to see this film. It's my most anticipated film, not just of last year, but especially this year. I went in with such high expectations. I didn't think they could be met, but they were. And more. In fact, they exceeded them in so many different ways that I walked out just going, this is a treasure. I haven't felt this feeling of seeing a movie on this epic grand scale since probably the first Star Wars ever, A New Hope, or even Lord of the Rings. He's done the impossible, because I thought this was a novel that was too dense and complex to bring to the big screen in a movie side. You know, if you could have done a TV show, definitely, but a movie was very difficult. But he did it. But saying that, we have a lot to discuss, guys. So if you guys are new here, though, and you are a big fan of Denis Villeneuve, or just in general love movies, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button so we can keep talking movies over here on a daily basis. This is my bread and butter. I love being here discussing with you guys. So leave a comment as well, and look forward to my Denis Villeneuve ranking coming out the week of the release of Dune in the United States. I'll have that up, and I can't wait to give that. Starting with this movie, of course, the major pros I want to start off with it is the technical achievement that this film truly is. Whether you're looking at the costume design, the set design, the production design, it all comes together in such a fabulous way that it's the first big thing that you really much notice watching the movie is how grand this movie is on all those different things, bringing this world to life. And, you know, I can look at the book and be like, yeah, they brought this book to life in every sort of way, whether it's the characters, the costume design, the set design, the production design. This entire world is brought to life from the novel. But if you push the novel aside and just talk about the movie itself, you are in awe, shock and awe, in fact, of everything that you were seeing on the big screen in this fact. Whether it is all the costumes made up for every single person, whether it's all the devices and weapons and just in general, all the scenes and the different set pieces that Denis set up in here, it is amazing. And I just have to give a big shout out to all of the crew members who worked on this film, because this film, even though Denis, again, is the big guy in charge of all of it, they all helped bring this film to life, and without them, it wouldn't have hit the level that it did. Easily, those should all win the Oscars. Like, there's not another film this year that I've seen that I'm like, oh yeah, the costume design could work, or even the production design. No, nothing. The other thing that adds a lot to the technical achievement that this is of course the cinematography, which blew my mind away. Again, just seeing these grandiose shots of the desert and even the other worlds that they do attend to earlier in the movie, it is just, again, glorious in so many different ways. And the thing that accompanies the cinematography is, of course, Hans fucking Zimmer's score. I don't like cussing in my reviews, but you gotta put some emphasis to Hans Zimmer's score here, and I can't emphasize enough that this might be my favorite score of his yet. I know that it's crazy to say since he's done Inception, The Dark Knight, and so many others, but it just seems like his career has built up to this point to give a score like this. I've had it on repeat ever since I've seen the movie, and I'll continue to have it repeat in my mind. There's one scene in particular that has these bagpipes that go off that just, boom, blew my mind, and I'm like, Hans, what are you doing? Fantastic genius when it comes to music composing, and you can totally see it all over this film. Again, I'm so excited to talk about this and so happy. I cried cried watching the film because it wasn't even like, I wasn't even emotional. I was just emotional watching the movie. Like, it lived up to my expectations so well. Of course, mixing in all that technical achievement, the thing that does show onto the screen are the stars of this film, whether it's Timothée Chalamet, Rebecca Ferguson, Zendaya, Oscar Isaac, Jason Momoa, Stellan Skarsgård, Josh Brolin, Harvey R. Bardem, Dave Bautista. I mean, everyone is perfectly placed in this film and really much brought this world to life. There's not a bad actor in here, and there's really not even a bad performance whatsoever. Everyone is firing on all cylinders. But truly enough, my 4 favorite performances in here. And again, this goes nothing against, like, say, Oscar Isaac, who's incredible in this, or Dave Bautista, or freaking even Javier Bardem or Zendaya, because Zendaya's barely in the movie. I want to give people a little bit of a heads up on that. She's not that much in the film, but that's okay. For the context of the story, it works. The 4 big performances that I absolutely loved in here was Stellan Skarsgård as, of course, the Baron, brought it to life. And again, the costume design and some of the set designs around him really much felt like a horrific character to bring to life, something that I haven't felt since watching, like, Hannibal Lecter with Anthony Hopkins. And Stellan was scary and very horrifying in those manners. But the next 3, Jason Momoa. I love him in all the blockbusters he does, but this is easily the best performance of him. He really much dives into Duncan Idaho himself, this kind of guardian mentor figure to Paul Atreides, and I loved how they were able to do it. I love the action that Denis shot with him, and really much throughout the entire movie. Even though the action is not the big front forward place of this all, it is really much the story, and that is the most important part of it, and how it mixes the political elements of it all. Because when people ask me, what is the best way to explain Dune to, like, just a general audience going person, you would say it's Star Wars meets Game of Thrones. That's exactly what Dune is. And I know some Dune fanboys will be like, no, it's not, it's this. That's an easy way to explain it to any friends or family that maybe do not know what Dune is. So when someone asks, tell them that. Again, Jason Momoa was great, and of course my final 2 performances that blew it out of the park. Rebecca Ferguson, I mean, continues to show why she is one of the best actresses working today in Hollywood, and continues to be such an amazing, amazing actress that just absolutely stuns me every single time I see her on the big screen. She's amazing in this, and one of her kind of roles in this, being the mother of Paul Atreides, there is this subdued, challenging performance that she must give in here, and there's also this element of it all that I don't want to get into spoilers if you don't know anything about Dune or her character, but I absolutely loved it and how they brought it to life from the book. But of course, the main star of this, Timothée Chalamet, proves why he is probably the next Leonardo DiCaprio, or even maybe the next Daniel Day-Lewis. He is one of the most best actors working right now. When you guys look at his filmography, from Call Me By Your Name to Beautiful Boy to French Dispatch and other things that he's already been in, Dune might be my favorite performance personally from him. I'm not saying it's his best one, but the way that he was able to bring such a conflicted character, someone who really much has to come into his own, and in a sense it kind of is a coming-of-age story for Paul Atreides himself, and really much needing to come about and do a lot more for his family. It brings a lot of different elements to it, and by the end of the film, you are just floored from him. The fact that Timothée Chalamet is the main face of this entire franchise makes me so freaking excited to see where they might take Dune next, because this might be only part 1. I definitely need part 2. Fingers crossed, and if you need a part 2, go see the movie again and watch it on HBO Max as well, so we can show that people want more of this. I know I do, and I think a lot of you guys are going to want the same thing, because when the movie ended, I sat there just going, I need more right now. It's kind of where you're wondering, well, Zach, you mentioned all your pros, what about the mixed bags? I got nothing. And when it comes down to my cons, I guess the only con I do have is I want more. I wish they filmed this back-to-back with part 1 and part 2. I guess it's so I don't have to wait that long to continue this story. And yes, I know, I've read the book, I know where it's going to go, but the changes that they did make, I liked. And even though it was very faithful to the book, I want to see this on the big screen again. I want to see this world continue and have it explore more, because as intelligent as everything might be in the novel and how complex and dense it is, a major shout out has to go to the script here, because this script could have been very hard to follow. Some of the editing might have been as well, and they just made it work seamlessly, to the point where I think anyone could watch this and really much flatter themselves. There was a younger kid who sat next to me during the screening with his dad, and I was worried if this kid was going to fall asleep or not really enjoy the film. And after it, he looked to his dad and said, Dad, that was like one of the coolest things I've ever seen in my life. And I'm like, Thank you. You were right, because that's exactly how I felt too. And again, just goes down to the script, which is just phenomenal. And again, not dumbing down anything for the audience. It's still as intelligent as it was in the books, but brings it to life in a visual manner and as well in a story manner. And it just works all in one. Adding all into that, the main star of this all is, of course, Denis Villeneuve, who runs the entire show here. This is his passion project. He said when he was 14 years old, he read the Dune book and fell in love with it. And that is the reason he wanted to become a director, so he could bring this book to life. And he did it. He set out, and it is his most passionate project yet. You can see and really much feel that he put his blood, tears, sweat, and heart all into this film. Not saying that he didn't do that with his other movies, but there's something special behind Dune, and I think he knew it. He wanted to adapt this for a more modern and open public, that maybe people who don't ever read books, which I know that's crazy to think, people who do not read books, but just for someone to really dive in and be like, I want to see this. He was able to do the impossible by creating Dune accessible to the masses, but at the same time keeping it intelligent. And Denis Villeneuve needs a standing ovation for what he did with this movie. He is, and truly is, the best director working today. Dune shattered my expectations in almost every way. A true cinematic treasure that will be cherished for decades to come, and gave me the same feeling that I got watching A New Hope for the first time. This is epic to the highest of standards, and I need more right now. This entire movie excels in almost every manner. A technical achievement that brings this world to life, and a script that breathes accessibility to the material but intelligence, and one of the best scores I've ever heard. Again, Hans fucking Zimmer killed it. And don't even get me started with the performances. Holy shit. Timothée Chalamet is phenomenal in here, giving my favorite performances of his yet. Rebecca Ferguson might even steal the show for some others, and Jason Momoa is just stellar. I loved everyone in here, but truly much the star is Denis Villeneuve. This is playing out his passionate masterpiece. It's a cinematic masterpiece, and a cinematic treasure at that. It proves that he is the best working director at the moment, and flat out deserves to start filming too right now, because when the movie ends, you're gonna scream that you need more. Dune is phenomenal. Go check this one out in theaters if you can. It is truly made for the big screen. If you're not feeling comfortable yet, I totally get it. Get a big bucket of popcorn, start the film, have the best surround sound, whatever you can, make it the best environment for you to watch it at home. But if you love movies and you do feel comfortable leaving your home, see Dune. I love this film. It is not just one of my favorite films of this year. It is absolutely one of my favorite experiences and one of my favorite franchises of all time. I love Dune, and with all that said, I'm going to give Dune an A+. Thank you once again, guys, for clicking on this. You guys are seriously all the best. I had a blast talking Dune with you guys all, and I can't wait to continue having the conversation down below in the comment section. So leave a comment. What's your favorite Denis Villeneuve film? What do you guys think about the franchise of Dune? Do you like the original movie? Do you like the book? Is this your first version that you're seeing? Let's discuss it. And of course, guys, make sure to head on over to Sandwich on Films on how to see films early. And of course, it's a big thank you to you and a big thing to my Patreon supporters, because without you, I wouldn't have been able to do this. I wouldn't have been able to travel to New York for less than 24 hours to see my most anticipated movie of the year. I save all that money so I can do things like this and bring you guys early reviews and special content like this. Look forward to that vlog coming very soon, and we got a lot of fun things coming up. So thank you once again, and of course, until next time, stay classy.